So Trump apparently has turned garbage into gold. My wife and I were talking the other day, and she said, you know what? We just need somebody on the Democrat side just to say one last really stupid thing right before the election so we can go ahead and seal this up. And I said, honey, they're Democrats. Just give them time. They will say something stupid because that's what they do. And right on cue, the gift that never stops giving, Joe Biden comes out and says this.
For Puerto Rico, where I'm in my home state of Delaware, they're good, decent, honorable people. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters.
Thank you, Joe Biden. So first off, let's get started. He's talking about what he's referencing to is the comedian that went to the Trump rally. And he said there's a big pile of garbage floating out in the ocean, and it's called Puerto Rico. And let's get something straight. It's a joke from a comedian. Comedians tell jokes. If you don't like the joke, don't listen to the comedian. But what you don't do is censor the comedian, which is what the Democrats are doing, and that has literally killed comedy. I can't tell you how many shows I've watched where they said, well, hell, I have to rewrite all my jokes now because it seems like everything I say offends everybody. So thanks for that, Democrats. Thanks for making the world a less funny place. Y'all are great at that. But Joe Biden says this coming right off the heels of Kamala Harris saying this.
Pledge to always put country above party and self, and to be a president for all Americans.
So what great timing for Joe Biden. As soon as Kamala Harris comes and says, I pledge to put country before party, we already know that's a lie. Let's just get this straight. In the Democrat world, there's party. That's pretty much it. There's party. They don't care about America. They don't care about the people in America. If they cared about America, they would not have opened the border and let our country get overrun with 20 million illegals. If they cared about America, they would not have canceled all of Trump's energy policies that helped drive up inflation. We wouldn't be using our tax dollars to give people in prison surgeries for sex changes. If they cared about America, but they do not care about America. But regardless of how stupid they seem to act on their side, the people over in the Trump campaign are absolutely brilliant. As soon as this hit the airwaves, they had already concocted an entire campaign around Joe Biden's garbage comments, which was absolutely brilliant on their part. And like I said, once again, Donald Trump turns garbage into gold, and then we immediately come back and we have this.
How do you like my garbage truck? This truck is in honor of Kamala and Joe Biden. And I think that the comment made by really both of them, because there are really two of them, about being garbage, maybe 250 million people, they shouldn't be talking. That's like deplorable for Hillary. This is the deplorable for Hillary. And I think this is worse, actually. For Joe Biden to make that statement, it's really a disgrace.
And then, of course, Donald Trump goes on to the rally wearing the garbage man vest. And I'm going to tell you, he turns it into comedic gold. And before I play the clip, I'm going to say this real quick. Donald Trump is having the time of his life during this campaign. And you can see it right here. Watch this.
I'm in this beautiful plane. I'm enjoying myself. I have a wonderful suit on. And one of my people came in and said, sir, you know, the word garbage is the hottest thing right now out there. The hottest thing out there. Sir, would you like to drive a garbage truck? Now, we're about, 30 minutes from landing. We had to do this pretty quick. I said, it's sort of cool, though, isn't it? Because, And I said, I think that's okay. But, I don't feel comfortable wearing a suit. And they pulled up this garbage truck. I don't know how the hell they did it so fast. I have very capable people. They put a big sign on the truck. Did you see it? I think they showed it to you. Yeah. And then they said, sir, we have a vest. I said, well, should I leave my suit on and put it over the vest? But that doesn't look very good, right?
that doesn't look good. So I said, all right, look, let me take it off. And then I actually said, I climbed into the truck, but so I said, how the hell do you get into this truck? It's way up high. It's a big one. This was a beauty. I said, you didn't have to buy it that big, right? You have to get it that big? They brought this brand new, gorgeous truck, wonderful driver. He looked like Cary Grant in his prime. You know who that is? This beautiful driver. And he drove that big thing up. And I said, man, this is bad, because now I have all the cameras are all watching. Look at all the fake news. They were, most of them. No, most of them, many of them were there. And I'm saying, oh, boy, you know, one little mistake with these guys and your political career's over. You can't even. So I said, man, if I don't get up there, this is going to be very embarrassing. These stupid people, they'll say, he's cognitively and physically impaired. And I can't do that when I'm alongside of this great athlete. I got to get up to that. So the first stair is like up here. I'm saying, shit. So I had the adrenaline going, and I made it. I made it. And then I gave a little news conference from the front of the, they asked their wise guy questions and everything. And then we drove about 2 feet. I got out, got into the plane. And then I got in the car, and I'm driving over here, and I have this still on. And I come into the arena, and I say, where's my jacket? I want to get out of this thing. And they said, it would be unbelievable if you could wear it on stage. I said, and I said, no way. I got 25,000 people standing outside. I got all these people here. There's no way I'm wearing it on stage. They said, oh, okay, sir. I said, get me my jacket. But if you did, it actually makes you look thinner. I said, oh. And they got me. I said, I want to wear it on stage. When they said I look thinner, I said, in that case, I'll wear it on stage. I may never wear a blue jacket again. I may go in this. I said that was the word, that was the key. Sir, you look thinner.
Absolutely brilliant. And I'm going to say this again. Donald Trump is having the time of his life on this campaign. He's funny. He's witty. I mean, he is on point, and he's having a ball. And luckily for him, Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, they just keep giving him material to work off of. I mean, you could take this stuff, and he could make a comedic run with this and hit gold all the way around. And it's just kind of funny for me. And there again, the irony of it, because in 2016, Donald Trump had a pretty good time with the presidency. He was having a blast, kind of had a feeling he was going to win. But, you don't know. You don't know. New guy coming in, outsider, because, the Washington establishment, they're tight. I don't care what side you're on, Republican or Democrat. They're wrestlers. In the ring, they hate each other. But behind closed doors, they're all smoking cigars, drinking bourbon and patting each other on the back. Let's be honest. But he had such a good time in the 2016 campaign. But then the 2020 campaign come along, and everything was different. COVID, he was being berated for everything that happened on COVID, even though it wasn't his fault. It wasn't Donald Trump's fault that a world pandemic was being released. And it kind of took the fun out of him. But here we are again. And he's having the time of his life right now, the time of his life, because now everybody knows that he's running against a much inferior candidate in Kamala Harris and in Joe Biden. They didn't know that in 2020. And like I said, they used COVID as a kind of a point to zero in on him. And I don't care who the president would have been, the results would have been the same during COVID. The first 3 years of Donald Trump, fantastic. But then COVID hit. I don't care who was running the presidency at that time. It was going to be a disastrous year for COVID, because it was a world pandemic, something we had never seen before. And it was devastating to no matter who the president was. But moving on from that, Trump's having the time of his life. And like I said, the irony is Trump is now having a blast on his campaign. Kamala Harris, who started off with joy, 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 we're a campaign of joy, we're people powered, has now turned into nothing but anger. Have you seen her last few rallies or her pressers? She's just pissed off at everybody now. And I don't blame her, because she's going to get hammered on election day. Absolutely hammered. She was not prepared to jump into the big boy pool. She should have kept her floaties on and toddled around out there in the shallow end. But she took her floaties off and then made the worst vice presidential pick you could possibly make in America in Tim Walz. This guy is a clown. And had she picked Shapiro, probably would have been a different story. And I'd have been like, oh my God, I don't know. It's going to be close. But she picked Tim Walz because she wanted to pick somebody who was actually worse than her. And she succeeded in that. But after coming off all the garbage debacle caused by Joe Biden, and I got to tell you, thanks, Joe, for that one. Then we go back to Kamala Harris, who's now backtracking from Joe's comments like crazy.
President Biden since his comment last night about garbage?
Listen, I think that, first of all, he clarified his comments, but let me be clear. I strongly disagree with any criticism of people based on who they vote for. You heard my speech last night and continuously throughout my career. I believe that the work that I do is about representing all the people, whether they support me or not. And as President of the United States, I will be a president for all Americans, whether you vote for me or not.
All the DNC cares about are people who act and think like them. And they have proven that over and over and over. That's all Democrats care about. As soon as you step outside of the Democrat lane, they hate you forever. And here's the difference. And I'm going to say this again. I've said this numerous times. Donald Trump, he will bash the Democrat politicians, but he never bashes the Democrat people. The Democrats, they bash everybody on the right. Remember Hillary Clinton and her deplorable statement? Remember all that? They have called us everything in the world because we do not believe and think like them. So they hate us. We do not hate people on the left. We hate their ideology. The Democrats physically hate everybody on the right. And that is the big difference. The Democrat, the party of inclusion and acceptance, that's only if you think like them.